Good evening, good evening, good evening. We'll get started here shortly. If you're just tuning in, let me know where you are chiming in from. Let me get my Instagram up. If you coming in on YouTube, drop your name, let me know where you chiming in from. Today we are going to talk about how to outsmart inflation. And I'm going to give you my Project 2025 plan for building wealth in 2025. Stacy in Milwaukee, it's freezing out there tonight. Definitely stay warm. Welcome. If you're just tuning in, getting Instagram up, I want to welcome everybody to, let me get my TikTok up now. Shit, I can't fit. Y'all let me know where y'all chiming in from. We are talking about how to outsmart inflation, Project 2025 goals. That's all we're talking about today. I'm actually going to give you some action steps because it would be foolish. It would be foolish for me to talk about all the problems with no real solution. So if you're just tuning in, I'm looking at three screens. I got TikTok, I got Instagram, I got YouTube. December 20th and December 21st, I'm actually going to be hosting an end of year event in Houston, Texas. I will have the dates up shortly and the details up, hopefully within the next few days. So mark your calendars. We're going to just have a end of year preparing for 2025 because we want to go into 2025 with an actual game plan. So again, if you're just tuning in, today we're going to talk about how to outsmart inflation with my Project 2025 game plan. And I'm going to help you to prepare ahead. I'm going to give you a step-by-step plan of how to prepare. I want you to be prepared. And it's actually going to be a lot simpler than you think. So again, if you're just tuning in, drop your name, where you chiming in from. I see Columbus is in the house. We got Georgia, Milwaukee is always here. Welcome TikTok, welcome Instagram, welcome YouTube. Again, tonight I'm going to briefly talk about, I'm only going to be on here maybe about 30 minutes. We're going to briefly talk about how to outsmart inflation. How to outsmart inflation with my Project 2025 wealth game plan. If you have a question, drop your question down below in the chat. I will answer your questions, whether it's on real estate, whether it's on finance, whether it's on business, whether it's on credit, whether it's on money, economics, whatever it is. Because here's the thing, let me just set the premise. I've been in this industry for 10 years professionally. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, but I was only serious the last 10. Okay. I've only been serious the last 10. I've tried a lot of things. I've failed. But what I've been able to do is really get a hedge on knowing my number. If you're following me and you're paying attention, and for the few people who are on these lives, type know your number. See, one of the biggest things that really helped me is I learned my number. I'm familiar with failing. Me too. But I'm going to show you how to prevent yourself from failing further tonight with my plan, my project plan. Know your number. See, here's what I mean by know your number. How did you know how to organize your thoughts to keep you on track to get ahead? That's a very great question. For one, I jot everything down. Here's one of my journals. For the things that I'm gonna talk about here tonight, I took some notes. Like I have journals upon journals upon journals. And this is something I've been doing for 20 years. So I've developed a muscle memory of being able to organize my thoughts. So I'm not gonna lie to you, there's not an easy way. There's not like an easy answer for me to tell you on how I keep my thoughts organized because it's an exercise you have to practice doing. But I got a lot of practice because I write everything down, and the repetition in learning in the writing is what helps me to keep so much organized in my thoughts. But we're gonna jump right in. Know your number. See, one of the things that changed my trajectory of my path is I had to learn my number. And here's what I mean. I had to know my number of what was my actual net income. If you're following me, write these notes down. I had to actually know what was my net income. Secondly, I had to understand what my actual expenses were. I speak to so many people who do not know what their monthly expenses are. You need to know your number. Third, I had to learn what would it take for me to be able to get out of the rat race. Here's the number one mistake a lot of people make. I meet a lot of people who say, "Hey, Will, I want to be able to just replace my income." And let me tell you why that is a bad idea. You're barely making it on your income now. So if you start a business and you just replace that, you put yourself right back in the same position, except now you're in a position where your income is going to fluctuate. And ultimately, what ends up happening is because you don't know your number, the first time you have a good month, that now becomes what you've made your new number. And so now you're living off your new number. Here's an example. Let's say you're used to making $3,000 a month, and then you start making $5,000 a month. What you've now done is you've now think that 5,000 is your new number. But remember, if you remember what I said at the top of this slide, I said know what your net number is. See, your net number is different than your gross. Then usually when your income increases or your gross income increases or your gross revenue increases, typically you're going to increase your expenses. So this is why I say you need to know your net income, your actual expenses, and what will it take for you to be able to comfortably exceed your expenses times three. Everybody put times three. Sniper, thank you, man. Thank you for hitting the like button on TikTok. Everybody put times three. Do you know what your times three number is for being able to 3x your monthly expenses? That's the only way you'll be able to live comfortably as an entrepreneur. And then always say you want to be able, you want to ensure that you can do that for at least 6 months. At least 6 months. 3 times you want to be able to exceed your monthly expenses 3 times for a minimum of 6 months consecutively before you feel that you can walk away from whatever it is that you do professionally right now. Okay. So again, if you're just joining me, I'm going to talk to you about how to hedge inflation, what Will Roundtree has done to hedge inflation. I'm going to give you some steps. I'm going to give you some solutions. And I'm going to give you what my Will Roundtree's Project 2025 is for my wealth building journey. And I'm just going to share with you what has been working for me at an extremely high rate. Okay. So now, everybody write the word plan ahead. Plan ahead. I'm going to break this acronym down. I broke down the acronym for plan ahead because most people don't make plans. We think we do. We all say we want to retire early. We all say we want financial freedom. We all say we want to do X, Y, and Z, but most people don't have a plan. And so I'm going to break down the acronym of plan ahead for you. And I want you all to take notes. And I got YouTube, I got Instagram, and I have TikTok. What up, Cayman? I'm on here blessing them tonight, Cayman, talking about how to outsmart inflation. And I'm going to give them a Project 2025 initiative. Because see, here's the thing. Regardless of who's in office, you still got to live. Regardless of who's in office, life is going to go on. So why not have a plan that put you in a position to hedge yourself no matter what's taking place? And I'm gonna prove to you why is if you follow what I'm going to share here with you tonight, there's no way you can lose. It's impossible. Impossible that you can lose. Okay, plan ahead. Let me break this down. Plan. The P stands for predetermined plan of action. The P in plan ahead stands for predetermined plans of action. And the operative word is action, meaning whatever we talk about here and whatever we set forth as our plan, we have to actually take action. And here's the thing that I've learned when it comes to taking action. The reason a lot of people usually don't take action is because they lack the purpose to do so. See, once you find, now, when I say purpose, I'm not talking about, oh, I want to do something that makes me feel good. See, when you start to learn or figure out what is your purpose, see, is your purpose that you no longer want to see your family struggling? Is your purpose that you no longer want to see your wife working 2 jobs, seeing your husband working 2 jobs, seeing your parents working past the age of retirement, knowing that your family doesn't have proper life insurance and somebody is going to have to pay for them? What is your purpose? Not purpose for the sake of I need something that's going to that makes me feel good in what I'm doing. Purpose meaning that this is what's going to get you up every single morning because you understand that this is bigger than you. See, I had an interview a couple days ago, and somebody said, "Will, you've amassed this success, and what is it that you want to? What's your next big goal from a purchase standpoint? Like, what do you want to buy yourself?" And I sat there and I thought about it for about 30 seconds, and I said, "There's nothing that I really want. If I do want to buy something, it's just because." And I say that because I'm at a place of gratitude in my life because now everything I'm doing is all about purpose. To be able to retire my mother, that was a purpose because I seen at one point when she used to work 2 jobs. To be able to position where I can hire my family and friends to work within my organization because now I can help them to supplement their income while they're also learning how to do what I do. That was a purpose. To be able to have a real game plan that has been tried, tested, and proven to work that has helped my family, my immediate family and extended family and my social media family to position yourself. That's been a purpose of mine. To be able to make sure that my son will be able to pick the life that he wants and not me forcing a lifestyle or not me forcing a life upon my son because I'm using him to take care of me when I become of an elder age. Let's talk about that, ladies and gentlemen. See, I've met so many people who said, "Oh, I only went to college because my mama wanted me to. I only went to be an architect because that's what my dad wanted me to do." And that's what they're doing because they're vicariously living through you because their plan is for you to take care of them when they get to the age of retirement. I don't want to put that pressure on my son. I'm not forcing my son to do things he doesn't want to do. I'm not forcing him to play sports because I think he's going to be the next lottery pick. I'm not forcing him to do things. So I'm planning ahead. So in the acronym of plan ahead, the P stands for a predetermined plan of action. L, lay out your goals. You need to lay out your goals. If you talk to 10 people, 9 of them don't know their goals. I often ask people, what is your goal? I want to be financially free. I said, homeless people are financially free. They don't have any debt. So sometimes your goal has to become that purpose. The goal has to become the purpose at times. But I'm going to help you to lay out your goals here. A in the word and plan. The A stands for adjusting your priorities. The A stands for adjusting your priorities. I had to learn what was a priority for me in my life. Happy hour after work was not a priority for me. I didn't care if it made me look like a lame. Oh man, Will, you just want to go home and work on your business. You're absolutely right. Traveling was not a priority for me at one point. I didn't have to have the fanciest car at one point. I didn't have to live in the gated communities. I didn't have to wear the nicest clothing. I didn't need all of the trappings, which is why so many people who are going on this journey, they can't get anywhere because their priorities are messed up. So the A stands for you need to readjust your priorities. What are your priorities for you to be able to get to that next level? And if you're just joining me today, I'm going to talk to you about how to hedge inflation using the Project 2025 that I put in order. I don't care about who's in office. I have my own Project 2025, okay? And thank you for the hearts on TikTok. It is truly heartwarming, pun intended. Still on the journey to be like you. You've always been a motivation of mine. Dom, man, appreciate that. And I need to get back in the gym with you, Dom. I got to work on my right hook because that might have to be a part of Project 2025 too. People start running up. I got to get that right hook ready, Dom. So, man, hit me up, man. So, Ian, your book just got here from Amazon, bro. About to get into it. Man, appreciate that. Thank you for grabbing my book. Thank you. N stands for notify your personnel, meaning identify who are the players that are going to be a part of your life when you're on this journey, because you may need help. You may need help, and it's okay to ask for help. And I think that we condition ourselves to think that we have to do this alone, and that is not true. It's okay to ask for help. But now here's the caveat to that. Help might cost. Somebody type that in the chat. Help might cost you. When I wanted to get my cardio up and I wanted to tone and get in the gym and learn how to box, yeah, I could have went to the gym and just hit the punching bag. But I wanted to get an actual professional who trains people for a living. So I had to get help to learn how to hit the bag. If you want to hedge inflation, if you want to make more money as an investor, if you want to become a better entrepreneur, you may have to get help professionally. When you want to work on increasing your emotional intelligence and you want to learn how to heal and you want to go on a journey of healing, you may need to get professional help. Because sometimes you're stuck in the same place because you assume what's working isn't working. You assume that the things that aren't broken, they really are broken. And sometimes that's mentally. Sometimes you're so broken mentally, you will think you're fixed. So sometimes you may need that professional to point out things, not that you need to improve on, but things to help you to increase your level of certainty or to give you different viewpoints that can help you on that journey. So plan a predetermined plan of action, laying out your goals, adjust your priorities, and notifying key personnel. Okay, get your A team and learn the cost of doing business. A mirror, absolutely. But the beautiful thing about in business, your A team usually doesn't cost you up front. All right, ahead. Let's break that down. The A in the head stands for allow time for acceptance. Remember, some of you, this is your first journey of being an investor, of being an entrepreneur, of being a whatever it is you are looking to grow in. You're brand new. I remember the first time my boxing trainer had me doing these like some type of leg workouts, and I wanted to leave. I wanted to punch him and cuss him out and do all of these things because it hurt. But it hurt because I hadn't worked those muscles in a lot of years, and I actually was coming off of an accident that had me dormant for about a year and a half. So could you imagine going into a different lane where failure is a part of growth, where people telling you no is a part of growth, where people stealing from you is a part of growth, where people trolling you is a part of growth, where people talking about you, where people will not want to do business with you, that's a part of your growth. So you're going to have to allow time for acceptance because remember, when you're starting on a new journey, people don't respect you because they remember who you used to be. If you were a knucklehead in high school, that's what they remember. If you were the loudmouth person with an attitude, that's who they're going to remember. So you have to allow that time for acceptance, and you have to allow the time for acceptance of you now becoming, because you have to now start to mentally believe that you are him or you are her. See, Muhammad Ali told himself he was the greatest alive before he became the greatest alive. Lil Wayne said he was the greatest rapper alive before people told him he was the greatest rapper alive. Will Roundtree had to tell himself that I am going to be a great individual before other people possibly may see me as a great individual. But I had to become, and I had to allow time for acceptance because sometimes, because of the imposter syndrome that we've created over the years of being around people who are usually all negative, we usually hang around other imposters. So it's hard for us to be of acceptance of our greatness. It's hard for us to be of acceptance. It's hard for you to take a compliment sometimes from another human being. It's hard to believe that somebody can say hello and it not be malicious or meaning they're trying to get to you because you don't even believe that you're worthy of being said hello to. It's hard for you to believe that you can have what it is you say you want in life because losing has become the majority on this planet. We're so used to losing that we don't even feel we're deserving of winning at anything. So you gotta allow time for acceptance. That's what the A stands for in a head. The H, head into action. You got to be ready. You have to be ready. Look, sometimes you get one shot to be ready. You get one shot. And this is why you got to plan ahead. Because once the doors once those blessings that you've been praying for all your life open up, you're going to have to be ready. Are you even ready to be blessed beyond your measures? You've been praying for it for the past 10 years, 15 years, some of you 30 plus years. Are you even ready to accept that? You're a great individual. You're on here for free, inspiring us to be financially free. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you on YouTube. So head into action. The E, expect problems. See, that's where people like to sit back in their seat, and this where it get uncomfortable. You're going to have to accept that there are going to be problems on this journey. If I only told y'all, I'm dealing with a lawsuit right now where the city of Milwaukee is suing one of my companies because the title company did not submit lien releases. And so now my attorney has to countersue them, but they're holding up a lot of money for me to complete other projects. Now, fortunately, I'm in a position because I've planned ahead, but mentally it's still taxing. You're going to have to you're going to have to expect problems. Sometimes the problems are going to be internal. Sometimes the problems are going to be you're going to procrastinate. That's a problem. Sometimes the problem is going to be you don't even believe that you can do it. That's a problem. Sometimes the problem isn't always other hindrances. Sometimes the problem isn't people hating on you. Sometimes the problem is you're hating on the individual in the mirror because you haven't told you don't even believe that it is for you. Everybody type in the chat having this. Sometimes you don't even believe that you're willing of having this. You have to believe that you are of that it is okay of having this. Having this. Okay. A in plan ahead, the second A in plan ahead is always point out your success. Look, I celebrate all my wins. Now, I'll be honest, I don't share all my wins online, but I celebrate all of my wins. When I close, what's up, Ty? When I closed on my deal last month, I bought an 8 unit. I closed on that. I took myself out. Went and had a nice dinner. Went and had, some top shelf tequila. I went and bought some cologne. Like, I'm gonna celebrate the wins. And then I took my team out. I took them to Poppy Steak. And if you guys don't know about Poppy Steak is the restaurant out of Miami that invented the sparklers and lights for bottle service. But they're a restaurant. And so when you get what's called their briefcase steak, they come out and actually you would like Poppy Steak it feels like a club, but it's a restaurant. And so they invented that. So I celebrate my wins, large, small, humongous. I celebrate all wins, whether it's go have a cigar, whether I go buy a new shirt, whether I buy myself a pair of shoes. Sometimes I celebrate by doing something nice for my mom's, like my team. So you got to celebrate and always point to your successes. I have a hard time pointing out my successes to others. My wife says I'm too humble. Let's stop using that word humble. Most expensive steak ever. Hey, it's so funny because when I ordered the steak, Daniel was like, man, I'm not even, I don't know if I want this. I'm like, no, you were a part of this whole journey. You deserve it. And the next thing you know, Daniel had most of the steak. I'm just playing, King. And so to that point of you saying your wife said you're too humble, let's stop using that word humble. When people call me humble, I correct them because when you look up humble, it actually means to lower yourself below one's expectation. I'm never doing that again because I used to walk around and be proud to say I'm humble. Now, your actions of who you are may be humble, but why do we feel we need to be humble? See, bragging isn't about telling people your accomplishments. Sometimes somebody needs to know what it is you accomplished so that they can believe that they can do it. See, we never thought we can all be, let's just say your goal is to be, make $100,000 a year. If nobody you knew personally told you that they've done it, you may not believe that you can do it. If you've never seen somebody put their body in physical shape that they wanted to, and they don't come around and say, look what I've been able to transform my body to, that is not them bragging. That is them celebrating the 2-year journey of that it took for them to transform their body. And it may be somebody around them that's what they needed to hear to know that it's possible. So let's stop saying humble or saying I'm scared to talk about my successes, because let me tell you something. They're talking about your failures. At least give them a show. Look, let me tell you something. People talk about your failures. So at least give them a show. Absolutely. We're eating around here. Absolutely. We've bought an apartment. Absolutely. We can do this. We can do this. I can take my son there. No. How to overcome this, King? Therapy, maybe? Yeah, there may be some trauma there. Therapy has helped me a lot. I've been in therapy for the past 5 years, because here's the thing that we have to understand. From the ages of 0 to 7, how we were cared for typically is how our outward of love, of expression, of everything is developed. And so, unfortunately, so many of us have grown up to where that part of our life, there was a lack of something. We've all been through it, some form of fashion. So yes, it may take therapy. It may also take therapy coupled with being around people who are winning. I always tell people, if you want to win, start being around winners. But no, we want to be humble and stay around people who make losing feel good. Here's what I mean. Oh, it's okay. You'll get them next time. No, I want somebody to tell me, Will, you weren't even working hard enough. What makes you think that you was going to be able to be a millionaire? You weren't working hard enough. How you say you want to lose weight, but every day I see you eating a quarter pounder with cheese? No, I don't want to be around people that lie to me, that coddles me losing. That's how people stay losing too. Always say, if you want to fail, succeed. If you want love, fail. If you want to be loved by everybody, just fail. Because people love to coddle failure, because they know that they're there and they need to keep you there. And this is where that term misery loves company comes from. Look, people gonna talk about you anyway. I'm gonna at least give them a show. Y'all see that car she driving? She thinks she all that. Absolutely. Y'all see them heels she wearing? She thinks she all that. Absolutely. You see that outfit that he got on, or that post, that vacation he was at? He think he all that. He doing that with his family. They think they all that. Absolutely. Because you have to be all that to deal with life struggles and still persevere to do and accomplish the things that people told you couldn't do at one point. My teacher told me I was not going to amount to nothing because I flunked algebra. I've yet to have to learn how to put numbers in parentheses to get a result in life. Okay? I have not had to use pi or the square root of anything. I just had to learn multiplication, addition, subtraction, and decimals with a dollar sign in the front. So yes, I am all that. And so are you. Everybody on these lives, so are you all that. I am a millionaire, but nobody that I know knows it. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's okay. Be a millionaire in silence. If I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell nobody either. I'll drop little hints. I'll drop little hints. They'll let them figure it out on their own. Trust me, people know you're a millionaire, sir. People can tell. Okay. The D in the head, daily review of my progress. Everybody type the initials KPIs. Stacy said that sounded like one of her teachers. Yeah, my teacher, I actually flunked algebra. Let me tell y'all how bad it was for my algebra my junior year. So my teacher knew I used to like to play basketball. I wasn't like good enough to like go to college to play, but he was like, "Well, you can go to the gym and just hoop." He used to excuse me from class to just go to the gym. So daily review. So KPI stands for key performance indicators. Key performance indicators, KPIs, key performance indicators. I come up with whatever my key performance indicators are, which is a part of my daily progress. So in my particular industry, I look at, how many calls did we do? I look at my social media insight. I look at all of the indicators that will show where my growth trajectory is for me to be able to hit my goals. But you have to know what your goals are in order to know what your KPIs are. You have to take action in order to hit your KPIs. You got to know what it is you're working towards in order to hit your KPIs. You have to be willing to expect problems because your KPIs may not show nothing for 2 months, but you still have to be okay with performing the action. When you're trying to lose weight, you may actually gain weight before you actually lose weight. But that is because there's a difference between losing fat and losing weight. So you have to understand that the KPIs in relations to your weight loss journey is understanding your macros. Do you know how much your protein intake needs to be? Do you know how much your carbohydrates intake needs to be? Do you know how much your fat intake needs to be? Those are called your macronutrients. So for a weight loss journey, those are your KPIs, your BMI. Do you know your body mass index number? So now you just got to understand your KPIs when it comes to your financial goals. So plan ahead. P, predetermined plan of action. L, lay out your goals. A, adjust priorities. N, notify your key personnel. A, allow time for acceptance. H, head into action. E, expect problems, ladies and gentlemen. A, always point out your successes because they're going to talk about you anyway. So at least give them a show. And D stands for daily review of your progress or your KPI. So now, side note, always prepare for everything I do or plan to do. I plan for everything. And so a part of that plan and why you are possibly on this live when we're talking about how to outsmart inflation, Will Roundtree's Project 2025 game plan. I don't care about who's in the office because I know every single day I still have to get up and my bills are going to continue to still come in every 1st through the 30th. It doesn't matter. Bills are going to come in. Number 2, I still have to live somewhere, no matter who's in office. I still have to pump gas. I still have to figure out how I'm going to eat. I still have to figure out how to put clothes on my back. I still have to make sure that my son is comfortable. I still have to provide an ecosystem to thrive in, no matter who's in office. And so let me break this down for you all about how to smart inflation. And this is Will Roundtree's Project 2025 plan. What up, Derek? I got to come on here and give him a couple financial lashings, D. You know what I'm saying? All right, so check this out. This blew my mind. This blew my mind. This one I knew I was on to something. Okay, but before I tell you all what I was on to, let me break this down. And some of you have heard me talk about this. Everything in my life shifted when I learned this one thing. Let me say that again. Everything in my life shifted when I learned this one thing, is that unless we learn how to play the game, you will always lose. Let me say that again. Unless you learn how to play the game, you will always lose. It sounds simple, but it's very complex for a lot of people to hear what I'm saying. See, when you go back, and for some of you, this is new, you must go and look up the book or go to Amazon, or excuse me, go to YouTube, and you can actually listen for free. The Creature of Jekyll Island in 1913. And I'm going to piece all this together. In 1913, a system was created to allow people to be able to play a game. But the game was first intended for just the people who created it. Okay? It was only created for people who created it. Somebody said, I did, fam, and it woke me up. The Creature of Jekyll Island will probably scare you because you'll be like, wow, if I don't play this game, I have no chance of making it. So understand, the Federal Reserve was put in place because that was the system that was created around debt. And if you do not learn how to play the game of debt, you have no chance of winning in life financially. None. I don't care about how many degrees you get. I don't care about how many alphabets you put behind your name. I don't care about how hard you work. All of that stuff, all of the cliches they told you are lies. You got to work really hard. You got to believe in yourself. You got to do this. You got to, all of that stuff is to keep you confused, to making you think that being a good person translates to having a good life financially. Let me say that again. They've told us that being a good person, and that is subjective. Because I know a lot of people who think they're good, but they're not. How they treat people. Being a good person does not translate to that. Here's what I mean. We got to stop lying to ourselves, and we got to start knowing how to spot the lies that we continue to pass on to our kids, that they're feeding us. Okay? Now, often say, everybody type this in the chat, follow the money. We have to learn how to follow the money. And when I learned how following the money means, I'm going to play the game the way that they play the game. And the way they've played the game is by mastering debt. That is the only way. That's the only way. And so check this out. So I went and pulled some data, because remember, the only way you can win, these are your KPIs I'm about to give you. Everybody type KPIs. I'm actually giving y'all this because I want to see you all win. So I'm going to give you some KPIs that is going to make sure that in 2025 you will no longer fail. Okay? You can't earn your way to wealth. Absolutely, Ty. You only can create it. Okay? So let me give you some KPIs here today. So the average annual inflation rate in the United States from 1913, if you notice, it goes all the way back from 1913, which is when the Federal Reserve was created, 1913 up until 2020. Okay? The national annual, all right, the national annual inflation average. Hold on one second, y'all, because my phone about to die for TikTok. And I can't let TikTok die. All right. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Got to know how to plan ahead. We plan and make sure we got the chargers handy. Don't y'all hate being on the phone with somebody? Like, you know your phone on 2%, and you're not going to be nowhere near a charger? I think that's crazy work. I just learned that, y'all, from social media. All right, so KPIs from 1913 to 2020, the national average rate of inflation is only 3.1%. 3.1% is the average annual inflation rate in the United States from 1913 to 2020. That's a KPI. And I'm going to show you why you need to know that KPI. Okay? It's only 3.1%, ladies and gentlemen. Now, after 2020, the average rate of inflation, the average rate of increase of inflation in 2021 was 7%. In 2022 was 6.5%. In 2022, it went back down to 3.4%. And in 2024, inflation is at 2.4%. 2.4%. So what I did, I said, okay, what game can I play? What game can I play? What game can I play that will allow me to outpace inflation no matter what the economy does, no matter who's in office, no matter how I feel in the morning, no matter my race? I wanted to eliminate every single excuse that will allow me to not be able to hit these key performance indicators. Okay. I wanted to eliminate every single possible excuse for me to not hit my KPIs. Okay. And I even used Chat GPT. Okay. Because I'm playing the game. Like, did y'all know you can always find the advantage in any game? You find the weakness of your opponent, and then you leverage the advantage. And in this game of life, that's what technology allows us to do. So I use technology. Okay. So now, along with my own certainty and my own data and my own research and my technology, I found that real estate is one of the very few and only games you can play that where the system is created to always to outbeat inflation. No matter who's in office, no matter what the administration is, no matter who's in the House, the Senate, no matter your race, etc. Real estate. My tenants don't know whether I'm black or white or gray or tan or caramel, pecan. It don't matter. Pick a flavor or a color. My tenants don't know. Unless they find out my middle name. Then they're going to be like, yeah, he black. All right. So real estate. Real estate is the only game that no matter what is taking place in the world, it is a universal language of winning. It is a universal language of happiness, and real estate is a universal game of wealth building. Check this out. This blew my mind. This blew my mind. When a property is purchased with a 20% down payment, okay, when a property is purchased at a 20% down payment, and I even show you how to come up with the 20%, it don't even come out of your pocket. That's how I'm about to position myself as well. Absolutely. Just follow everything I'm about to give you. Real estate will never go to zero, ever. Check this out, y'all. This is going to blow y'all mind. I was excited when I read this. When a property is purchased at 20% down, there's a 3.8% annual market appreciation. That's just meaning you can buy a piece of property today and do nothing. And every single year, there's a 3.8% market annual appreciation. That's just for the house existing. That means the house can be check this out, y'all. Go and look in any major market or any market right now and go and look at what the cost of a property that was a shell, or let's go find go to realtor.com and find a property that was in a house fire and look at the price of what it was in 2021 and look at it what the price of it is today, even in its condition of it being in a house fire. It will blow your mind. That means you can own a house that was in a fire that never ever even got worked on, and just the annual market appreciation, it's a minimum of 3.8% just for the house existing. Then on top of the annual forced appreciation, okay, the annual forced appreciation is another 2%. That means when the tenants pay the rent and you use that rent to pay the mortgage, that is what's called the forced appreciation, because you're paying the debt down. Somebody just said, property I paid $8,000 for in 2021 are now all worth above $90,000. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you could have bought a property for $10,000 in the Midwest and did nothing to it and still turn around and that property is worth the minimum of probably $60,000 today. We live in an asset economy, burned or not, it's an asset. So the forced appreciation just from the tenants paying me the rent, and then I'm taking those rents and I'm paying the mortgage or paying the bank. That is what's called forced appreciation. So somebody do me a favor, and what is 3.8% plus 2%? Somebody tell me what that number is. What is 3.8% plus 2%? %3.8% plus 2%. Who can tell me what that number is? That is 5.8%. Now, what did we say is the annual national average of inflation? It's only like 3 to 4%, ladies and gentlemen. From 1913 up until 2024, the national average of inflation is only about 3%. So just by having real estate, you will outpace inflation every time. But wait, there's more. Anybody ever seen the movie Scary Movie? That is probably the funniest one out of the franchise. And it was like, and Ray was like, but wait, there's more. There's more, y'all. Along with equity gains, meaning the property also gains equity versus debt pay down, market appreciation, forced appreciation. It is an average of 10% annually. Just by owning a piece of real estate that you rent out and you get paid every single month for, you will have an asset that gains a 10% market appreciation every single year. So let me ask you all a question. If you hold that property for 3 years, what is the total percentage rate of increased appreciation? If the average total global appreciation of a property is 10% annually, and you keep it for 3 years, after 3 years, what is the total global annual appreciation? It globally is 30%. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what's called a KPI. I just gave you your first key performance indicator that if you just focus on finding asset classes that can outpace inflation, no matter who's in the office, what the economy looks like, what race you are, who's your boss, who's your wife, who's your girlfriend, who you boo, who you sneaky link, who you going 50-50 with. Whatever it is you choose to do with your life, you will always beat inflation. And this is why you will always catch me in a place of gratitude, no matter who's in office, who don't like who talking about 50-50. Like, I don't care about none of that stuff. I'm getting minimum 30% appreciation on every piece of property I own. So I've now mastered my key performance indicators. The only way you can lose weight, the only way that you can lose, let me not say weight. The only way you can lose fat, because you can starve yourself and drop pounds and still not look like you want to look. You have to lose fat. And the only way for you to lose fat is you have to know what your KPIs are for your body, based upon your age, based upon your height, based upon your ideal weight. There's a certain amount of caloric intake you need to have, a caloric deficit coupled with some exercise, mobility, all of that stuff. And here's the beautiful part about that. You don't even have to work hard. You don't have to change anything up in your life for you to hit your fitness goals, except how you think. Same thing when it comes to building your financial infrastructure. The same thing with trying to outsmart inflation. The same thing with how to hedge inflation and put together your project 2025 financial game plan. It's the same habit you're already doing. What do you mean by that, Will? You're spending money every day anyway. Let's now go to and learn how to go spend the bank's money. Go buy some real estate, position yourself to increase, like Ty said, it's basic math. You're going to get forced appreciation. So, excuse me, not saying that I don't care, but I ain't tripping about the cost of eggs. Not saying I don't care, but I'm not looking at the cost per gallon at the gas pump. I'm not tripping about the cost of my utility bill. I had a solar guy come. I just got tired of him coming over, so I let him come in today, break down everything. And the first thing he said was, what do you think about solar? And I said, I don't trust y'all because y'all put liens on people's houses. He didn't know what to say. And he said, well, solar is going to help you save $5 a month on your electricity bill. I said, sir, I own real estate. I'm getting a 10% gain every single year. You think I'm tripping about a $15 increase on my electricity bill? Now, I'm not saying that to impress anybody. I'm saying that to impress upon you. When you learn how to play the game using simple math, like Ty mentioned, you're not tripping over the little stuff. And when you look at every single affluent individual who studied wealth building, they understand that they don't trip over the small things when they know that they've hedged their inflation by creating cash flow that is going to pay you in spite of you, because the cost of inflation will never outpace the increase of appreciation on an asset that has to be here on earth. Everybody needs somewhere to live. The end. And people worried about the Tyson fight distractions. Yeah, that is true. I did watch it though, Jalen, but it's not about the rate cost. It's about the return. Absolutely, Ty. So I just wanted to come on here and share with y'all because I'm seeing the videos of people screaming at the top of their lungs because who in office. Look, you still got to go to work tomorrow, ma'am or sir. I'm seeing families break up over who voted for who. Most people don't. Most people don't even participate in the things that they claim that they want for the person who they voted for, because most people aren't even taking advantage of the things that can help you regardless of who's in office. See, Regardless of who's in office, the economy only turns on debt. The economy only thrives on people who are thriving within the economy that was set up for people to learn how to thrive. No, I can't say that 3 times fast. But what I can say very fast is if you follow this key KPIs that I just broke down here for you today, it's impossible for you to lose. When you understand that the game that was set up was set up to play around debt, which is why if you go to any country in the world, debt has made debt is only allowed for people who are extremely wealthy. If you are not wealthy in certain countries, you can't even get debt. And that is why so many people in these countries that we call paradise, they're living in these third world countries, no disrespect, but a lot of these third world countries we call paradise because the people over there have been able to capitalize off of our ignorance, knowing that we don't even know how to play the game over there. And we all trying to say, oh, I want to move out the country. Sir, ma'am, you not even in a position to live in the country you were born in. How you going to go to another country and live off of their currency and thinking you're going to have a life of abundance? You're going to live just like them over there. Unless you learn how to master the game over here, then go to the other country and you live in that country with the revenues you've created here in the United States. And the only way you can do that is by mastering debt. Period. Exactly. People have been complaining about the interest rates. I tell them I don't care. As long as the rent is enough above the mortgage to pay for the expenses, repairs, capex, and profits, I'm going to play the game. Absolutely. I think that's Amon, one of my newest coaching clients. Every country is rich. It's the people that are struggling. Sir John, you just dropped the bar. Every country is rich, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all can keep going to these countries thinking y'all can go over there and finesse them. No, they're living better than you, sir. They're living better than you, ma'am. The people who've learned how to play the game. We got to learn how to play the game. Because if you ain't making no money here, you go over to the other country, guess what? You're now living off of their wages. You got to master it here first, then you go over there and that's how you live like the king and queen that you call yourself every day. I believe in you. That's why I'm coming on here and sharing these KPIs with you. While everybody else is just saying, oh, just go buy a car and rent it out. No disrespect. So how do we master debt, sir? You learn how to play the game of real estate. Because no matter what, or you join the REI 90. This is what I teach. You join the REI 90. Because see, here's the thing. No matter what you decide to do, no matter what you decide to do, the banks are going to keep lending money and people are going to keep buying real estate. And you're either going to be a renter or a buyer. No matter what time of the year it is, no matter what the season, no matter who in office, no matter what, that cycle of financial evolution will continue to go on. And if you don't learn how to play that game, you have no chance. I subscribed to the REI 90 program 6 days ago. Positivity and progression. Look, y'all, one of the best decisions I made in my life was to learn how to take control of my life. Yeah, you did tell me you was hungry, John, man. I appreciate that. I learned how to take control. I had to learn that it's not about what he and she and them and they don't want us to have or do. Like Ty mentioned, we have to go create it. And we have to stop thinking just because we hold the doors open for people and we say please and thank you that it's going to make our life easier. No, this is a cruel world. And there are powers that be that make billions of dollars off of the lack of what people don't know. There's an entire world out here, even in other countries. Go to another country and don't know how to speak the language. Yeah, that $3 cab ride, you just paid $300. So it happens all across the world. Everywhere in the world, people are going to capitalize off of your lack of ignorance of finances. Think about that. If you go to another country and you don't know the denominations of their currency, they are going to take advantage of you. So it is not just here in America where they're going to take advantage of your lack of not knowing economics. You can go to Japan, you can go to Dubai, you can go to Mexico. I don't care where it is. They're going to smile and grin and say hi and give you some beads and a lei and take your money if you don't understand the universal language of finance. And until you learn how to play this game, it's good riddance. And you will work forever being one of those coulda, shoulda, woulda stories. And I refuse to have anybody that I know live off of who they used to be. Let's create some new becomings who you want to be. So I appreciate y'all being on this live tonight. Have your notifications turned on. I got a Black Friday webinar coming up. You can go to roundtreemasterclass.com and register. It will be next week, Tuesday. So make sure you have your notifications on. I'm also working on December 20th, Houston, Texas. Saria, you still on here? We coming to Houston. You know how I do it when I come to Houston. I shut it down. I bring out the black and the gold crocodile leather jackets. Y'all know when I come to Houston, it's gonna be a movie. Will you ever come to London? I was in London last April. Yes, I think I'm gonna come back to London. It's a UFC fight in March, so I may come out to London in March for the UFC fight. Love London, by the way. And guess what? If you don't know if you don't know how to count money or euros over there, they gonna take your money in London too. You know what I'm saying? We're at in Houston. We're working on the date. I mean, we're working on the location right now. Give me a couple days. I should have all of the details for Houston, Texas by Monday. It is going to be an end of the year event because it's time for me to get back on the road in 2025, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in Lake Las Vegas, Will. I know, Ty. Come on, you got to meet us in Houston. All that knowledge that you keeping up there in Lake Las Vegas. Come on and share that with these people in Houston. Or I'll let you know when I do the Las Vegas event. So I'm gonna do something in 2025. So Houston, Texas, meet me there. I'll have the details coming up. And Indianapolis, yeah, I'm gonna work on Indianapolis soon. I'll have a list of the cities that we're gonna be hitting shortly. So with that being said, roundtreemasterclass.com. I'll see y'all soon. Stay locked in. And y'all already know I'll see y'all at the top. Peace.